Okay, so this is spot number 1. Okay, so we've got collarbone. So the first thing we want to do is start on any side, and you just want to lightly caress. So this is now nervous system, and all I want to do is go down and up, above and below my collarbone. And I just want to feel like, can you feel the sensations of your fingertips on your skin? Mm-hmm. And then we're looking at, so the reason I don't use oils is because oil makes gliding super easy. And that's why people use oils in massages, because it then avoids the thing of like skin not moving. So rigid skin is, again, poor blood flow, tense and tight. So if I touch someone's skin and it doesn't move, what that's telling me is the brain is under stress. So we start with this feeling of, can I feel and connect with my body, and does this make me feel uncomfortable? Oh my God, this is weird. So all of those things we might notice. And then what I'm going to do is I clamp my hands together a little bit more, and now I'm going to move skin. So the way we move fluid in the body is moving skin by making space. And now I want to lift the skin up and pull it down. So I really want to connect with really kind of a little bit deeper, a little bit more powerful. And then I want to create heat. So this is blood flow. So if I can go maybe a little bit faster, and I can feel the sensation of heat. And I want to go all the way up and down. And because tissue likes to move in lots of different directions, what I'll do is I change direction and I'll go into a circle. So if we start with a circle one way and pull the skin out. So again, don't lose the connection with the skin. So I'm lifting it up and pulling it out. And you're just going to feel like, oh, that feels a little bit tighter. Or just notice the skin maybe in some areas feels softer. It feels harder in others. And then change the direction. So I'm going to pull the skin back and move it around. So we're moving tissue now, yeah? And I can move that tissue side to side. So just noticing, like, is there any stickiness? And that's fascia as well. I can go up and down. I can go in circles. So I could do this with a body brush. I could do this with any tools.
So even body brushing should start here?
Yeah. Okay. And then I'm going to tap. So I do this because it's from Qigong, and I really like Qigong, and it's vibrating tissue, the same as if they use guns. So just vibrate a little bit more, then breathe a little bit, like, breathe into that area. Good. And then pause, don't do anything, and just notice the difference between one side and the other.
Just feels lighter. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
It just feels like I'm a bit like this.
Yeah. So we're wandering around wasting energy holding tension that we don't even know we're holding until we relax the tissue. So now we've just relaxed.
Yeah, that just feels so much more relaxed.
Yeah. So then we'll do the other side. So we want to start lightly, and you might notice that, this side's like more receptive to the feeling. Right?
Yeah, it's
so
quite even goosebumpy.
Yeah. So now it's like, okay, this side, so you've got different sides of your body all the time. We always work one side and then the other. And you want to take note of what side is potentially, because maybe one side is sympathetic, dominant, another side is more relaxed, another side's more tense. So you'll start to learn about, when you get tense and worried, does this shoulder go up? Or, so we're like, learning about how I'm responding to life.
Yeah.
Just via this.
Wow.
Then I'm going to make my hand a little bit stronger, and now I'm going into blood flow. So now I move skin, and when we move skin, we make space, and when we make space, fluids move.
Right.
Yeah? So we're always trying to generate some heat now, and can I feel the heat? So again, this is a sensory thing as well. Can I feel the heat building? If I can't, but my skin's red, there's a disconnect with my body. Right. There's redness through heat, but I cannot feel it. Then we want to move tissue, so then we make circles. So you pull, and sometimes you slow this down and speed it up based on your connection with your skin. Like, don't just do it and be like, you need to really connect with moving the skin.
Okay.
And when you relax skin, your brain starts to relax. So your brain and your skin connect and talk. So if your skin is relaxed, your brain is relaxed. If your skin is tight and tense, your brain is tense.
Okay, interesting.
So we've got circles up and down. And there's no magical number. You just do it.
Keep doing it, fine.
Like 10 maybe is good, yeah?
Yeah.
Side to side, up and down, circles. And then vibrating tissue is breathe. And then pause.
It's just like, yeah. That's better.
Like loosey goosey.
Yeah.
Okay, so the spot number 2 is going to be at the end of the jaw, just below your ear. So this is where your vagus nerve is. So a lot of people with digestive issues, the nerve runs down to your belly. So the biggest lymph node in your neck also sits here.
Okay.
So the first thing we want to do is palpate this area. So when I palpate, it's 1 or 2 fingers, and I always say I palpate horribly, but I treat nicely. So when you palpate, you just want to press in and around these areas, and you've got a big muscle, your sternocleidomastoid muscle, that connects from here down to here. So we've opened this space up now, so whatever we do will drain down. So I just want to get a feel for what this area feels like in and around the area. And then take a note of that. Oh, it was tense, it feels bumpy. What's the skin like? Now I'm going to go nervous system. Light touch. So it's end of the jaw, just below the ear. So we always want to make sure we're in the right location. What I like doing this sometimes in front of a mirror, because the other thing is your brain's very good at getting you to start doing this, and you don't realise you've wandered off of the area, because it's like your brain's trying to get you away from there because it's stressed. So sometimes in a mirror, it forces you to stay in the correct location. People don't realise they're doing it, and they're like, I'm like, no, move your finger back up. It's like avoidant.
That's so funny.
Yeah, it's really interesting. And then we want blood flow. So now we push the fingers in a little bit more, and then we want to feel the heat. We want to create the heat, and we can go side to side. So we can move the tissue now, side to side, up and down. And again, this is quite good for if you've got like little tools that you want to use, but I like using hands a lot. Yeah. And then I want to move in circles. So I want to pull and move as much skin as I can. And you're noticing like your cheeks are moving with you, or moving the skin, moving the tissue one way and then the other way. We might want to make it bigger, slower, and you can just explore. Like sometimes it's like, I just want to feel good, so you do what feels good, and other times you're like, I'm uncomfortable doing that, maybe I'm gonna be uncomfortable and see where that takes me. Yeah. And then tap. So you never want to cause pain when you're doing this, you just want to feel the sensations. Big part of this is feeling what the sensations are. Yeah. Take a breath. And then pause. And then just noticing the difference between one side and the other. Should just feel a little bit more relaxed on the face. Yeah.
A bit tingly. Yeah.
Then the other side, so we want to palpate this area. And when we work one side and the other, we're always looking to just take data on ourselves. So just take note of where you're holding, if you are holding tension, and where is it? Where are you holding things? Because we're all holding. So I've got the palpation, and then I'll go nervous system. So I'll go really lightly. And can I feel, sometimes I find that I go numb in these spots and it changes. So sometimes I can't really feel it. And if I can't, I might try and slow it down a little bit, but there will just be points that are kind of just a bit switched off. So I'm just like taking note of that. I'm not judging it. It's not a judgment. It's just like, just feel a bit switched off there. Yeah. So I might stimulate it. I might massage here a bit more. And then I'm going to go blood flow. So I'm going to get some blood flow to that area. So anyone who suffers with like headaches, brain fog, don't forget our blood flow to the back, to the brain stem is coming up to the back of the body, right? And it's got to drain down via these roots. Gosh. So it's all connected basically. All the systems in the body are connected. And then we want to move, so I might go like side to side, up and down. We should do that thing. What's that trend where they make noises, you know? Oh my god, yeah. Yeah, just us doing all. Yeah, like like where's all language? And then make the circles. So sometimes to connect with moving the skin, you can really easily lose it by just doing the massage. And it kind of, sometimes you need to slow it down, see how much you can kind of pull it away.
Oh yeah, your cheek.
Yeah. And this is fantastic for getting you into a parasympathetic state. So a facial is far better than a massage for getting you into a relaxed state a lot of the time.
Interesting.
Because it's relaxing. Your brain is just like, vagus nerve. This nerve here is your parasympathetic instigator. It's like, yeah, let's go. Straight away, I feel chill now.
Yeah.
And we've had coffee and everything. And it's like the coffee, whatever.
Doesn't matter. Out the system.
And then tap. But you just start to feel like I'm kind of just accidentally calmer.
Yeah, definitely. 100%.
Like, it's really strange.
Yeah.
This is this point when I teach a class, everyone just starts to get a little bit more mellow.
Yeah.
And of course, so for instance, just pause. You're just noticing the difference between, just feel less stressed.
Yeah. Even the way you probably speak, you feel like it's going to flow better.
Yeah, you're talking really slowly.
Yeah.
Nowadays.
I'm like this.
And if you wanted to do some like drainage, you could just literally drain down. So you could just pour this down to your collarbone.
Fine.
And then do that on each side. And it just can feel nice if you like doing that. But your body knows how to drain. What we need to do is open up the points of tension.
Fine.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So the third spot I work is the line between your shoulder and your chest. Okay, so if you've got a bra on, you go underneath. You can do this if you've got no clothes on at home. Yeah. So the first thing we're going to do is palpate. So I'm going to press into that line that goes down my shoulder, connects my chest and my shoulder. And I just want to press all the way down in there. And I just want to take note of where, if anywhere, feels tight and tense.
Tiny bit here.
Yeah. And then we start lightly. We just want to notice, do I feel sensations in this area? We're always checking that our nervous system is responding to that. Then we start to move the skin. So now we press and pull. So now I'm pulling up, pulling down, and I'm really thinking about moving the skin. And I want to think about different speeds. And then I can think about different directions, because tissue likes to move in lots of different directions. So originally when lymphatic massage started, it was like, it's super gentle, and you might go to lymphatic massage and it's like really gentle.
That's what I had.
And that's called a Voda method, and it was for people who had lymphedema. So they had swelling. So some people get lymph nodes removed and their swelling will happen in their joints and tissues because the lymph nodes aren't clearing the waste. So that's why it came really, really gently. But if you don't have lymphedema, you don't need to do it really gently. Your tissue responds to lots of different movements. And then we want to tap. And then pause. Just notice the difference.
It does feel so different after.
And it's taken, this can be done take 10 minutes in the day. So we'll do the other side. So we'll palpate first. And the palpation is what, if you went to an acupuncturist, they might spend 45 minutes palpating your body before choosing a point to work with. If you go to some acupuncturists, they'll just cover you in needles, and that's not great because they'll maybe just hit the jackpot with one of those needles. But also that's if you're already stressed, that's like doing HIIT training. Your body's going to be like, oh my God. So that's the last thing you need to do if you're really highly stressed. If you're really calm, chill, then loads of needles. Same with cupping. If you're stressed, you do not want loads of fucking, you don't want loads of, you don't want, all treatments are stressors as well. So we need to be very careful about overdoing treatments as well. So lightly for nervous system, a lot of people overdo treatments. And again, everything's stress, so how do we balance that out? Then breathe into that area. Then we want to create some blood flow, so then we're going to move the skin, move the tissue, pull it down, and just notice, I'm noticing the texture of my skin as well, if it was quite bumpy, what's the quality of the skin like? I'm just trying to notice different things, like my reaction to touching here. Am I more defensive on this side? This is like a lot of trauma therapy. Sometimes they go, where did you feel that? And you put your hand on the body. There's a lot of connection there, Then we want to move in different ways. We're moving the tissue in circles, one way. Notice which direction of the circle maybe feels more stuck or not as easy as one way. So I'm just like taking in all of these notes. And then I just want to tap around the area. Good, and take a pause.
Balanced.
Yeah, so you feel relaxed. So I'm going to show you one more point, and then what I'll do is I'll invite you to one of my online classes and your audience, and you can do it and with a little bit of lead breath work, and it kind of creates a really nice experience.
Amazing.
So the last point is going to be on the belly, so we're going to stand up. So I do a much more in-depth belly massage, but really fun one to do is to imagine that your belly button, so remember this is your small intestines underneath here, and it's a place where toxins build up, right? So I used to have a terrible squeamish thing with my belly button. I don't anymore, but there's some strange thing with that. So if you do have a squeamish thing with your belly button, you'll get over it.
Yeah.
So if I imagine my belly button is a clock face, what I want to do is I want to push into 3 p.m. and again in that palpating feeling, like press in there and notice what it feels like. And you're going to press in and go all the way out to your waist. So you're going to press and just notice, is there any tightness and tension and where it is. So I tend to get quite tight and tense in and around these areas. And I'm just noticing. And then I'm going to work my way back, and then I'm going to go to 12 p.m. and I'm going to press quite deeply in there, and then I'm going to make some little circles. So it's like I'm going to move that skin and work my way up, and this is roughly where the biggest lymph node in your body sits, sternocleidomastoid. And then I'm thinking about now my rib cage. When you breathe in, put one hand in your rib cage and try and push your hand out. And then put your hand, press in again, and the other side. So basically, when you breathe in, your organs drop down. So if you visually imagine that, as I'm breathing in, my organs are going.
Yeah.
And we have to create a lot of space in here. Why? Because the fluids need to go up and the fluids need to come down.
Right.
So this split point of your belly button is really important for drainage of your legs. So this area can't be tight and tense if you want fluids to move well. It's a really important area, right? So then I'm taking note, okay, maybe 3 p.m. felt tense, maybe not. 12 p.m. I'm going to go to 6 p.m, press in there. And again, if someone says they've got stomach issues, but you have no issues here, but here might have been tense, but often where the pain ended up is the last place, not where it actually started. So that's why palpating around your body, you'll find the point of tension. It just happened to end up wherever it is. And now you're going, my belly is sore or my back's sore, but it's irrelevant. You need to feel around your body until you go, oh my God, that's sore. And that's where it is. Because your shoulder pain can be connected to the poor blood flow in your hip. So do you notice any tenderness around it? No. And then press in your lower belly and then have a little movement around. So it's number 6 p.m. And just work your way down a little bit and then up a little bit. Good. And then if you place one hand on your belly button and one hand above, and just now like move the skin. So I'm going to lift the skin up and move it around, lift it up, move it around, and then go in another direction. So as you've got a tiny little bit of tension there, doesn't feel quite as pliable. So that's when I'm looking at as a tiny bit of like, we're not so happy, we haven't done this.
No, this has not been done before.
And then like side to side and out, but now move the skin. So get the skin and move it. You see, like what you instinctively did was this.
Rub,
Right? So
it feels like unnatural to move it.
So it's like, because you don't want to wobble it around. It's like, oh no, we're not meant to move skin, it's meant to stay hard. But actually it should be pliable, the skin. Yeah? And then the breathing, your diaphragmatic breathing, it's not happening, for example, right? So it's like, oh, okay, so now I'll put my hand again on my rib cage. When I breathe in, push it out. Keep doing that. Put your hand more on the side, and then as you breathe out, push in, and then breathe in, let it come out. Yeah, good. And now slap. Is there any tenderness when you do that?
I don't think so. Trying to work out. There's tenderness from rubbing it, or tenderness.
And then relax.
Yeah. So funny.
It's
Wow,
interesting.
it's so interesting. So those are the movements.
So that's 4 of the main 6 that I do. So there's like 19 points in total, but most people will benefit massively just from learning the main primary 6, and that's 4 of them. So it gives people a little bit of fun to have a go.
Definitely.
But what's interesting, you'll notice certain things, like straight away we've just given you some insight into, say, like, actually you was kind of happy doing certain things, and all of a sudden you was like,
this feels odd. Yeah.
Like you instinctively went away from getting involved, but you were still there, but a bit of you wasn't.
Yeah.
So it's like a little bit of a...
Definitely.
Something was going on in your brain there.
Yeah.
So this is more to do with, like, actually probably you just need more energy and movement and kind of like pouring
touching
into that area, touching, massaging, doesn't matter which massage, you just, any way to massage, body brush and play, because it doesn't matter how we do things, it just matters the order in which we do it.
And that is starting here, what collarbones?
2, 3. Because once this is open, now my belly goes up.
Yeah.
Once this is open, this comes down.
Fine.
Here, drains to here.
So if I'm going to be like dry brushing my legs, for example, I need to dry brush here first.
You need to do my main primary points first. Because the groin and the belly need to be open before you drain your legs. So if you've had a big leg workout at the gym, the best way you can do recovery is open out your groin and open out your belly. Because those are the areas where the drainage, but also the blood supply is coming from. So you don't get better without blood supply.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't recover without blood supply.
No. If you're in the sauna, for example, is it a good time to be opening it?
No, because as soon as you're sweating, the same way with oil, you're gliding.
Right.
And lymph needs to move via skin.
Fine.
So for instance, my treatment is my hand on your skin. And this is so then the flip side is that sometimes I like chilling back with some R&B, some oil, and it's self-massage because I just want to relax.
Yeah.
But I'm still working the primary flow based on lymph. But if I want to do a health treatment, lymphatic style, its skin must move.
Okay.
And I'm looking, is my skin stuck? You take all that away with sweat, water and oil. Now everyone's skin is gliding, hence why they put creams and oils on you in massage so it feels nice, so you're not going, oh my god,
it's tugging,
it's hurting, it's stuck. So it just becomes a nice experience. But that's the issue also, because everything becomes a nice experience, we're not actually doing what we need to get done. So I mix that up. Some days I cannot take kind of delving into myself. I'm just haven't got it. Yeah. It's like I can't face meditation. I can't face any of those things. And then I'll just put some music on that I like, watch a show, but I'll just massage with some really nice oil, my favourite oils, and I'll just enjoy doing the treatment. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So we, again, working with what feels good for us.
Yeah, completely.
But sometimes you have to do some of the deeper work. And so that's what I'm saying. So it's like I pick up very quickly because I'm watching you. And as soon as you knew it, you would also watch me and notice where I changed slightly. And then it's like, oh, okay, now we can give you something to go and work on.
Fine.
And you've connected with it because I've said it and you're like, do you know what? Yeah, I was a bit...
Yeah, I was a bit more like this.
And again, the breathing. So this is our biggest pump in our body, this diaphragmatic breathing. And that rib cage and the diaphragm is a muscle and it can't be tight. So we have to breathe, we have to consciously breathe in order to help that suction, that plunger, lift those fluids up for us.
Yeah.
Right, for your tummy to be well.
Yeah, so interesting. I guess that's also where people like do singing and humming and all that kind of stuff to move that area.
I always say I'm turning into like a real hippie here, and I try and say I'm not trying to be hippie because but actually then you're like, oh, I understand why people do chanting and omming and and all of these different things. But when you don't fancy going for a run, go onto YouTube and go do a breath work. If the objective is breath work and getting out of breath and moving this diaphragm, it doesn't always have to be a spin class. It can be a breath work. It can be a chanting workshop. We're in London and this is everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's like, what's my objective, right? My objective actually is to get my diaphragm moving and to get my lymph pump moving. Therefore, I can run, I could do a spin class, I can go chant in somewhere, I can do it at home. And then it kind of connects the dots, right?
It's so achievable and so accessible. But I feel like Lymphatic has been kind of told to be this high-end luxury massaging experience that only the elite can have, and it makes you look like smaller and
but it will only make you look smaller for like a day, if that. As soon as you eat and drink, it will go back to normal, because you can't lose fat via a massage, but people get very confused. You're only moving water, so that's only if you've got water to lose. If you've got lots of body fat, you still need to go and do what everyone else is doing, and there's no quick fix. But all treatments are relaxing, but it's just that you can't expect it to solve bloating, headaches, pains without you having to do some work. But it's all, if anyone wants to buy you massages, just say yes. It's always going to be good because it's fun, it's enjoyable, and who doesn't want to do it? But from actual health perspective, unfortunately, it's again one of those, like, there is no quick fix, and you can't throw money at it as well, because I have people paying a lot of money for my treatments, but they still have to at some point start touching themselves in order to progress, because we'll just hit a wall after 3 or 4 sessions. There's a wall that you hit, and it's no longer beneficial to you. You're just wasting time.
This is so insightful. Thank you so much. And we'll add all the links for people to check out your online classes.
Lovely.
Amazing. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much.